This conference will now be recorded.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us today for this special webinar, 30 minutes of trying to help you find that job and more importantly, stay in the right mindset to get that job. The reason for this webinar is because we have been conversing with all sorts of people that have been in the job hunt mode for a while. And all of a sudden it was June. We were wrapped up with celebrating our 10th anniversary. And I said to my team, quite frankly, I said, oh my gosh, we haven't done any webinars this year for job seekers. And there are so many people that are still in the mode from last year. It's a painful process. It brought back a lot of memories. I'm going to be speaking to you about some very personal storytelling from back when I had to go through almost 15 months of unemployment at 57. And I know that everyone has different challenges in this journey. But my intent today, I probably won't even be going over to LinkedIn. I'm going to be talking to you about stories that I'm going to tell you that hopefully will help you stay the course. You know, it's quite a process. And it's not easy, obviously. There's a lot of challenges. Some of the storytelling I'm going to do today will relate, hopefully, and some of it, you might be able to relay it to other people that you know that are dealing with this very common scenario. So let me get some of my stuff out of the way here. Okay. All right. So again, as always, after this webinar, you will get a replay link, and anyone that's on the registration list is going to get that. I know that we have right around 50 people that were scheduled, registered, so I know a lot of those people are used to our tradition of always giving out the replay link, whether or not you can actually attend. So let me get started here. And okay, I also know that most of the people that are on right now have seen this many times, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but this is our model of how we use LinkedIn to engage with people that are meaningful, that we can develop relationships with. This is all part of the deal. The know, like, and trust factor has to be established. You always want to personalize your invitations. I told you I'm going to rush through this slide. Please don't pitch out of the gate. I mean, we're at the point where we open an invitation, and if it even draws an inkling that this person's going to pitch me or they are pitching me in the invitation, frankly, that's an immediate ignore. I don't even go to the profile. That's where we're at. I am doing everything possible, along with many fellow LinkedIn advocates, to put a halt to the process of people behaving inappropriately and, you know, trying to push whatever it is you have to sell right into somebody's face the minute you invite them. It's just totally inappropriate. Don't do it. I'm sure none of you do that. And you want to engage with people and build that relationship. Okay, and again, please stay on mute for those of you who are coming in late. I am a one-man show today, so I can't see your list of people. GoToMeeting, you know, we're using GoToMeeting as GoToWebinar, frankly, and that's one of the hiccups. I'm not able to put everyone on mute and have everybody stay that way. So please be respectful. This is being recorded. Okay. You are a work in progress. This webinar is directed strictly to people that are still looking for their next job. And you've probably been in that mode for a while. It's important to remember this is a journey. It will have a good ending, and I'm going to help you with all my might to stay positive in thinking that. All right, time for a reality check. So I start by suggesting that you establish your position in this journey. So here we go with the storytelling. So you've been employed for more than whatever number of months. I'm just going to take a wild guess. And I know that some people that are going to be listening to this, they've been unemployed for a year or more. And you have my empathy because I've been there. I've done that. It's not easy. You constantly have to find ways to keep your mindset in the right place. So I'm going to share a few things that happened with me that hopefully will help you. Um, I was 57 when I was fired, and it was the first time ever in my career I went through that experience. Not pleasant. I was cocky as hell because I was very good at fundraising. I had 23 years of nonprofit experience, marketing, media, PR. You could put me in a room of strangers and I'll find something in common with every one of them. Not afraid to talk in front of anyone. I was doing well. However, it was just one of those scenarios where, unfortunately, instead of embracing my database of very wealthy people in South Florida, my boss was threatened. Her solution was to let me go. So out the door. Okay, 57, divorced, 2 kids in college, thankfully with prepaid college education taken care of. That was hugely helpful. And I was a little bit cocky. I thought, okay, this is a bump in the road. That toxic environment existed before I came in. And I had to move on. And my frame of mind was not good. In the first month, I was like, no problem. I was tired of the way I was being treated, mistreated, call it what you will. I was out of work. So it took about 2 weeks for my head to stop spinning because I was incredulous. I was doing a great job. Yeah, I was bringing in a lot more money than the person that hired me, and she didn't care for that. So that's the way it went. I had to find something to do. So probably the first week, I didn't do anything. I was just kind of in wonder of, okay, I'm not working. And I was going from 90 miles an hour warp speed to 0 and not having to set an alarm and not having to answer to a toxic environment. And I kind of went into vacation mode. Frankly, that was the initial stage. And I think in the grief process, they call it denial. Very similar process to dealing with a death. Very similar. I'm probably spent about a week, and then I thought, well, okay, time to get started. I'm going to go start contacting everybody I know. Frankly, I know everyone. In South Florida, particularly Palm Beach County, and I don't want to be obnoxious or sound obnoxious, but I'm known as a master networker. You know, call it what you will. I love people. I have always enjoyed networking since day one. So I was very good in marketing, and I was even better in fundraising. I was sitting in the kitchens and living rooms of some of the wealthiest people on the planet, chatting away about their background, and they would ask me about my kids, and and then they would hand me a $30,000 check and say, hey, we're glad to help you. I mean, that was my life for the last 2 years of what I did in the nonprofit industry. I liked it. It was really fun. It was very different. And anyway, it was fun. And I was still hanging on to that. And I was still hanging on to, I'm just going to get another job. I know everybody. Well, it was also the crash. And nobody was hiring. Yes, lots of people knew who I was. They knew what my database looked like, and they really wanted to hire me. But there was this little factor of my education that came in to kick me in the butt. Way back in the 70s, way before some of you were born, I went after a 2-year associate's degree, specifically to work for American Airlines. I wanted to follow my big sister and be a stewardess, and that's all I needed, 2 years. So what happened there? I didn't get into the airlines because back then they had height and weight requirements, and we'll just leave it at that. I was maybe a couple of pounds beyond where I should have been, and that's why I didn't get the job. Crazy. Thank God they don't do that anymore. So I never went back to get my 4-year degree. That came back to haunt me 30 years later. So I had to deal with, first of all, wow, I'm going to have a little challenge here because every job I'm going after is demanding a 4-year degree. Hopefully you're not in that scenario. If you are, there are ways around it. So let me get to the point. Noticing a change in your friends. This was really when the reality started to sit in for me. I was making an attempt at finding jobs in the nonprofit world. That was my comfort zone. That's where I was going with my attempts at getting an executive director position in nonprofit work. Not going to happen without that 4-year degree. Every board out there said, we love you, we know you, we can't hire you because you don't have a 4-year degree. And there was no way of getting around that. But I needed to change my mindset. I needed to get away from nonprofits. I need to start fixating on what I could do for my next employer. In the process, I was running out of money, frankly, and the phone stopped ringing with friends asking me out to happy hours and let's go to dinner and let's go away for this weekend and that weekend. I had to put a stop to almost all of it. And when I did that, I started to find out who my real friends were, frankly. So if you're going through that and you want to have more of a conversation, I am happy to talk to you one-on-one. At the end of the slides that'll go out with the PDF on this webinar, set up a 15-minute call with me. I'm happy to talk to you about that instead of your profile if you'd like. Are you paying attention to the money you have? And this is going to lead into the big red, don't do what I did. And a lot of you don't know this, so I'll just tell you because it's coming out in my book very shortly. I hit rock bottom. I went through everything I had. I went through my savings. I went through my 401. I made huge, huge mistakes, all because of my pride. I have 4 older siblings. Every one of them very successful, 3 of them executive directors of nonprofits, go figure. I think nonprofits are in my blood. And the 4th one was very successful in his own right. And I got to the point where I had to ask him for money. Let me tell you, that was far worse than being fired. Because I was of an age where I shouldn't have been in that position to begin with. And I got so much immediate, well, I got help. Yes, every one of them loaned me money. The happy story is every one of them got it all back. And they didn't expect it or want it, but I paid them all back. In that, I learned a huge lesson about finances. I was never in a position where I needed to really pay attention. Somebody else did that for 18 years in a former life. And I was too busy out there networking, having fun, getting money from people for, the fundraising effort. And I wasn't really paying attention. And when I was in the job hunt mode and it started to really go on for a long time, it really kind of hit me okay, you really need to make a change here because you are running out of money. You are running out of benefits from the state. And I had to go borrow from my siblings. So I'm just saying, don't get to that point. Do something before you run out of money. Find somebody that you can borrow from, appeal to your family first, your friends, whoever you need to go to. I did end up borrowing from some friends as well. Not an easy thing to go through, but boy, you'll learn from it. Most of all, stay optimistic mixed with being realistic. Okay. If you think job searching is not a full-time job, by now, you need to think again. It is a full-time job. It should be. And your objective is to get employed. And handling rejection is part of the deal. There's going to be a ton of it. We're connected purposely with a lot of HR managers, and it's the same old thing. And I went through it with my younger daughter in the past year, literally hundreds of resumes going out, applications being filled in, and you don't hear back from most of them. And that's tough. You just have to find something to keep your mindset going forward. and staying positive and convincing yourself, yes, this will have an ending. I will find a job. I just have to stay at it. And you're going to learn different techniques to do that. I have a page of resources coming up here. So handling your lack of response, the lack of response, it wasn't meant to be. Somebody else looked better on paper than you did. Move on, get over it, leave it behind, move on. And this is where a mentor can be really handy. And in the resources I'm going to list, you can get a mentor in several different fashions, but having someone that can stick by you when you're going through this journey is invaluable. Please don't do it alone. That is, I think that's opening you up to a real sense of being miserable. And you don't want to go down that path because life is worth living. It's easier if you have an income. So you want to do whatever you can to stay on top of your mindset. So I could talk honestly for an hour about this. I might go beyond 30 minutes here. If you have time to stick with me, great. Again, if you don't, you will get the replay link. And I'm just going to run through these bullets. You know, when you're treating this journey as a full-time job, you need to have a schedule. You need to act like it's a full-time job. You need to get up and get dressed. You know, if I wasn't going to be on camera today, frankly, I'd probably have a t-shirt on, you know, no makeup, whatever. And in the beginning of my job hunt, I was, you know, wearing cutoffs and flip-flops and a t-shirt. You know, I wasn't on camera, I was on my computer. I'm telling you, it makes a huge difference if you get dressed like you're going to work. I know this might sound corny, but again, after this amount of time, I'm really hopeful that some of these tips are going to be things that you're already doing. Set a goal for the day, set a goal for the week, set a goal for the month. Don't lose sight of the importance of goal setting, because when you can meet the goal and feel good about meeting it, it's going to give you a bump in your attitude in a right direction. Now, reward yourself. And you might be saying, yeah, right, I don't have any money. What am I going to do? I'll give you some ideas right now. And bear with me. If you haven't tried some of this, just do it. You'll be amazed. So, okay, reward yourself. Get outside. Go for a walk. Go to a park. I learned more about the area parks in my neighborhood in my part of Florida than I ever did before, and now I still go back to them when I can. Just get outside. There's something about being in nature that is refreshing. It gives you a chance to clear your mind. It's also not a bad idea to get some exercise. Don't slack off on that either. Other things you can do. There's a thing called a library. You probably haven't stepped into one in years. Try it. All kinds of free books in there. And now, of course, they lease out DVDs and all kinds of things. And I'm going to touch on libraries again in a little bit, but that's just another thing that you may not even think about because you never have for a long time. I think I have a high school friend that became a librarian, and she did that her entire career. She's one of the most well-read people I know, and she's actually managed to kick my butt back into some reading. I'm not the avid reader I'd like to be. I will be very transparent about that. But libraries are free, okay? And you have to take advantage of free. Okay. I'm blessed to live in South Florida. I'm 15 minutes away from the beach. So yes, I took that 15-minute drive pretty often, and I would just go to the beach and just walk the beach. You know, again, being outside around nature can really clear your mind. And it can also put you in the mindset where you might even discover something new to pursue for either a job or you know, another way of approaching something or someone. You'd be amazed when you get out of your house, out of your environment, and you're outside. There's a lot of good things that can happen. We actually have movie theaters opening up. Not a lot of them, but they're coming back. And I'm overjoyed that a movie theater that I used to go to, I'm a movie nut. $5 every show, every movie, all times, all the time. $5. So yeah, I'll flip over $5 to go be entertained for a couple hours. Sometimes you have to look for these opportunities, but reward yourself, for meeting those goals. Have a respect for the process. It's taking a while. It's a lot of people that are trying to do the same thing, but this is not the time to give up. This is not the time to slack off. This is the time to understand that a lot of the economies around our country are coming back and they are hiring. And if you pay attention to some of the people that are going to be in the resource list, I would encourage you to follow Andrew Seaman. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me get back to the last couple of points here. Again, it comes back to keeping your mental state in check. You just want to do what you have to do to keep going forward. This is a favorite quote. It is right over there on my bulletin board. I look at it every day. This really helped me. If you think about it, you have to maintain that unwavering faith that you will prevail no matter what it takes. And you're going to go through some tough times. I'm sure you already have. Maybe some of you have hit rock bottom already. Again, I hope that some of this webinar will help you to keep going. All right, resources. Okay, here in South Florida, it's called Career Source Palm Beach County. There's a Career Source Miami. There's a Career Source Orlando. It's Career Source in the state of Florida. Now, in other states, it's called Workforce Alliance. Another name is Workforce One. Every state has a nonprofit like this, and they are funded by the state. They exist to help job seekers be matched up with companies in that area. They will not call themselves headhunters. Again, they're funded by the state, and you just have to Google your area and just say job seeking help in the city, and it'll come up. If you need any help with this, just set up that 15-minute call with me and I'll walk you through it. But every person I've worked, and we've worked with people, we have a new list coming out. I can't wait. It's the DWCS client location map. We're in 21 countries now. It's been really exciting. 10 years. My God, it's gone by so fast. But every state in the United States has one of these nonprofits, and they exist to offer free help to you. Resumes, job database, career counseling, anything and everything you need to get back on track with your next job. So take advantage of their services. And there's a special one here called Encore Palm Beach County, and you might imagine what the word means. It's older job seekers trying to get their second stage of life going, with a new job. A lot of the people that are being helped by Encore Palm Beach County are in their 50s or older. Maybe they've done the same work their entire career and they were outsourced for one reason or another. But it's an interesting bunch of options that this organization has. So obviously I'm speaking to people in the South Florida area, but I'm going to add a special treat on to this webinar. You're going to get another link. I have not put this out there, although now that I just said that, I think Encore Palm Beach County put it on YouTube. So yeah, it's out there. I get very personal in it. I tell some stories I've never said to anybody. And it ended up being, it was the first time I did a LinkedIn presentation that wasn't about LinkedIn. It was totally about my journey, almost an hour of it, Q&A at the end. And what I got from that experience was some of the most heartfelt, awesome emails of appreciation. So I hope it helps you. That will be an additional link to this replay. Um, I'm telling you, if you don't get anything else out of this webinar, if you haven't looked into The Secret and the Law of Attraction by now, please do that. It really changed my life. I had a sister who just happens to live in California. It's the one that was the flight attendant her entire career that I was trying to follow. She's been trying for years, she had been, to get me to read The Secret. It's a short book. It only takes a couple hours to read the whole thing, and or follow the law of attraction, which basically states what you think about, you bring about. And a little more detail there, you are totally capable of attracting and determining and pursuing whatever you want in your life. Doesn't matter if it's money or work or a spouse or whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, you have the ability within you to attract it and get it and accomplish it. Man, I could talk for a whole hour just about the law of attraction. It works. I finally got one of my daughters on it. I think the other one, the older one, has pretty much mastered it as well. And they both used to blow it off. Every time I brought it up to either one of them, they were like, yeah, that's foo-foo stuff. It's not. And it's been around for thousands of years. I'm just going to leave it there. I love the CDs. I have a set in my car. I have a set in my living room. I have the book. I have the journal. I'm on number 4. I do a journal entry every week, once a week, and that's what works for me. So get into that. I gave the links for Amazon. That link has both the access to the book and the CDs. Okay, networking. And you know I'm going to tell you, you can't do enough of this, and you just need to get out there. Go into some local groups. Yes, go to LinkedIn. Look up some groups that are catering to the audience that you want to be around. If you're trying to get into I don't know, anything, accounting, graphic design, marketing, plug in that keyword on LinkedIn search field and pick groups and have a field day. You're going to find hundreds of groups for just about any keyword you can think of. Get into some of those groups. A lot of them will post jobs, but the important thing is you can be around. I'm willing to bet there's a few groups on LinkedIn for job seekers. I really haven't looked at that. However, don't miss the opportunity right there in front of you on LinkedIn. You can also go to meetup.com, which used to be strictly social. And now I think they have as many business meetups as they do social. Excuse me. Right now I belong to 3 social meetups and probably 6 professional meetups. And they're wonderful groups. A lot of them are totally free. Some of the professional ones I belong to have a fee attached to, join the meetup as a member by the year, whatever. Just surround yourself with people. Do not do this journey alone. Get out there and network. I have clients and associates now that remember when I used to go to some of the local Starbucks or free gatherings, local meetings. And I would stand up and I'd say, I'm Debbie Wemyss. I've got 20 years of marketing, media, and PR in nonprofits, and I have no idea what I'm doing next, but I'm here to keep my face in front of everybody. I did that for months, and some of those people from way back, they're clients now. So get out there and network. Chambers of Commerce are fantastic. Every one of them offers events that you can try as a non-member. Might be a minimal investment for attending a lunch or a breakfast, but get out there. You're going to mix and mingle with business professionals. Look up your professional organizations in your area. I'm sure that you're going to find some. So I will add to that list in the recap, the little email that'll go out this afternoon with the replay links, because you should be following. I lost my note. Okay, so you definitely want to follow Andrew Seaman, Seaman, on LinkedIn. He is one of LinkedIn's editors for job seeking. He writes fantastic blogs. He interviews fantastic people. Every time I listen to anything or read anything by Andrew, I learn something else about job seeking, and that helps me to help our clients that are in transition. Right on the home page of LinkedIn, I'm stretching this webinar a bit. I know I've gone over already. But right on the home page on the right margin, in the upper right, you're going to see, usually he has a link right up there every week. But his name is Andrew Seaman. I'll put his LinkedIn link in the email that you'll get this afternoon. Okay, and let me think. There's some other people to follow. I think one of them is on this call, Jeff Young. Shout out. Kevin Turner, I don't think he's on the call. I'm going to give you the names and links of other LinkedIn advocates that I really have a high regard, high respect for, because they too offer a ton of tips. If you connect or follow them, you're going to get their feed into your homepage feed, and a lot of it is great tips about LinkedIn. You know, we all, meaning Jeff, Kevin, me, Jillian, a whole bunch of other people, we all keep up with each other, and we help each other stay on top of all the changes that LinkedIn does, because, you know, they don't roll them out to everybody all at once. They start in one part of the world and roll them out, and then they decide if they're going to keep them or not. So I'm purposely connected with a lot of other people around the world that do what I do. What's really funny is I'm going to be joining a LinkedIn event in Australia at 10 o'clock tonight, which is happening tomorrow for them. And I've never done that, stayed up that late to participate in something about LinkedIn in another country, but that's going to be fun. I was invited by one of the panelists, so I'm looking forward to that. And there's 3 LinkedIn experts that are going to conduct that. So I do hope that, you know, this has helped you. These are the different ways to get hold of us and get connected with us. Again, I know a lot of you have seen this slide before. And then the final slide is, those are my 2 other coaches. They're fantastic. Kelly is trilingual, so if you prefer to speak in Spanish or Portuguese, you want to connect with her and set up a time. The 15-minute review of your profile, there's no obligation. We do these every single day. There's no obligation. We're going to give you a couple of quick tips, and we will tell you how we work one-on-one with people. And that's it. You know, you'll get some knowledge from us out of that. And again, if there's anything relevant to job seeking that you want to zero in on with me, I am open. I am open to talking to you about whatever is on your mind at whatever level you wish. So thank you so much for joining me. I really hope this webinar has helped you out. I really believe in sharing and being authentic, and I got very authentic in the past half hour. So I'm wishing you all well. Hang in there. The economy is coming around, and so will you. You will be employed, and you will get that next job. So good luck to everybody, and thank you.